Hello, darlings. How are y'all? Today I'm here with Miss Alethea Dijon. I call them everlasting roses. Tell us more about the product.
I like calling them everlasting roses too. That word just is so much more significant than forever, but they're more likened to forever roses because that's what most people would know them as. But yes, the company is Fleur de Dijon, which just simply means Dijon's flowers. So I want to be able to give people their flowers while I'm still here as well. And my motto is be the roses. A lot of times, we can't show up to events or for someone, but we can be the roses for them in that moment, whether they're sick or anything. But most importantly, roses are given because of love. They're actually a symbol of love. The roses, especially if they're red, it's all romance. So this is really great that you're having me on today to talk about romance, because the first thing someone thinks of if they're proposing or if they want to give their wife an anniversary present, or if they did something that they weren't supposed to and they're looking for a sorry.
In the doghouse.
Exactly. The first thing they think of is, let me get flowers. And so I make it very easy to select a gift on my website, betheroses.com, to select the color, the roses, and ship them off with a personalized note. And that woman just feels so special and so loved. And she's like, oh, he thought of me. How romantic. So it always gives you that good feeling of he really thought about me.
Right. Let's just take a pause for a minute. Tell everyone your website. Look into the camera and tell us your website.
betheroses.com.
How easy is that? That is very, very simple. Because men, let me just talk to you for a minute. As a more seasoned woman, I have heard so many women of different generations say, now come close, listen in.
I'm even listening.
Okay. Hello. Hey, baby. Get dressed, get pretty, get sexy for me. I'm taking you out. Don't ask no questions. Just get pretty.
I'd love to hear that.
I'll be there by 8:30, 8:45. So you got time to get dressed. Yeah, he's taking me out.
I'm calling all my friends. I'm getting dressed.
He took control. He didn't ask permission to take control. And he told me to get pretty and get sexy. So now, most of the time, we going out with our girlfriends. We're doing this, we're doing that. And we get dressed for other people. Yeah. So now, we're getting dressed for him. And I think that makes a woman feel so romantic. So it's so easy for the rest of the night for you to say, yes, yes, yes. And
that's deserving.
Can you imagine he shows up with a gift of roses?
But I also think that goes back to back in the day chivalry, where when men asked a woman out on a date and they showed up at that front door with roses or flowers of some kind. And she puts them back in the house and then she gets in the car. But when she goes back home, she's smiling and she's giddy. And she's like, oh, wow, he did this for me. And I think that's where it really comes from, the thoughtfulness and the care.
That's beautiful.
That a lot of people just don't have these days.
Yeah, I think we need to slow down and take some time to rejuvenate, reinvigorate relationships on a deeper level, because like you said, people are just moving. So many people spend so much time on their devices, on their phone, and they don't really just sit and have meaningful conversations.
Another thing in my age range, what I see is that if a man has more than one woman and then maybe he finds a woman that he really likes, his expectations are different. So it's like, for me, if I decided to date someone, I have to put my standards in place. I have to put my expectations from the get-go.
Right.
Because if they're used to saying, well, all these women didn't make me do that, I had to start changing the way that I presented myself so that they know, yes, I'm waiting for you to open the car door.
Right.
Yes, I'm waiting for you to open the restaurant door. And I had to pause and be patient and be feminine and be a woman.
Right.
And I didn't know that. But I think for me starting this business, with something that is so feminine and roses and care, I had to kind of check myself and say, well, I got to set the tone,
right?
Because that's what I'm presenting now, and I just think other women have allowed men to get away with not being romantic, that they don't even try.
And do they know what they want in romance? Because romance is an outward expression of love. It's not sex. Romance is not sex. It can lead to that because you feel romantic, you feel connected, you feel intimate with that person. But you know, for this generation, I just feel bad because I don't think some women have ever really seriously, you know, been made love to. It's an expression
definitely
that you really don't hear.
Yes. So I wanted to say something else regarding when you think of love, you also think of love songs, right? And I'm a big music person. So I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. So R&B music was my thing, you know. And when I heard it, even though I wasn't old enough to date or be with someone, I would always say, "Ooh, I want that kind of love. I want someone to love me like that."
Right.
So then when I got older to date, it wasn't happening. So I think sometimes I personally conjured up things in my mind based off of music.
And then movies. For us, it was a lot of movies.
Yeah, romantic movies. And then when it was happening, I was like, wait, this is not how it's supposed to go. And so that's why I changed my tone of, no, this is how it's supposed to go because this is how I want it.
And I think, you know, someone said, oh, Miss Celeste, you haven't been on the dating scene in so long, right? She may be about 10 years younger than me, 7 to 10 years younger than me. But the thing that society may have changed, but love doesn't change.
That's a good point.
Love doesn't change. It's always been the same product. It's the same emotions, feelings. It's other things. It's interactions that have changed. It's how you allow someone to treat you has changed. Standards have changed. When I was growing up, we didn't see women doing the things that they do now. Women enjoyed certain things, and you know, things have become...
Can you give us an example?
Like, okay, an example of women enjoyed having children.
Yeah, they did. Back then, yeah.
We were raised to grow up, have a family, get married, have a family, and enjoy taking care of your home.
Right.
Then we saw this rush where women was like, no, we don't want to wear bras. We don't want to be housewives. We don't, you know, want to be the breadwinner. You know, we want our own money. We change roles.
Right.
So the traditional role of a woman has changed drastically. I personally, I couldn't
domesticated.
I am very domesticated. I love being home. I love decorating my home. I love helping other women get their homes together. Yeah. I love being a feminine woman. I love beauty. I love all of that makes me a woman and a lady.
Yeah.
Because all girls are not women. Yeah. And all women are not ladies.
Yeah. That's true.
So those are things you learn as you go along the way. And I think that when you're meeting a man, you have to agree on the roles that you guys will play to build a life. You don't never really hear people say we're building a life. Like, it's okay that if the man stays home and the woman is the breadwinner now. So that's something that was totally different, but it may not work for you.
But that's what's happening.
But it does work for some people. If she's a corporate lawyer and maybe he's a blue collar worker and he gets home and he starts cooking dinner, so be it.
If that's what works in
if
that
it
household,
works for them. There is no set standard for what works for individuals. Like, we know men want respect. Women want love. Yes. And that's scriptural.
And affection, and, you know.
That's really, that has a scriptural basis. I'm going to link that scripture.
Oh, yeah.
Right down there. I'm going to put that scripture in. Because my husband doesn't mind if I dance with every man in the room. But Susie's husband might say, you better not dance with nobody but me. Because when you get home and you disrespected him, he might fight you. He might put paws on you.
Yeah, but,
So respect, when we get down to the bare root of it, it means to be watched. You have to watch your man, your woman, to see what they're all about. Because when you look at the word respect, it comes from the word spectacle, to watch, to see, to observe, like specs, glasses. So you're watching. I know what ticks my husband off. I know when he feels disrespected. I know what aggravates him and all of that.
Yeah.
So those are the things I don't do. I use my love to keep him strong.
So respect, even though you're watching them, you're also watching yourself.
Exactly.
Like you're checking yourself. You're making sure that I know this is going to upset him. I'm not going to do that. Like you check yourself quickly.
Right.
And that keeps down, arguments. It keeps down negative energy, and it increases the romance.
Because it's really not. I hear a lot of women say, they got to build up his ego. They got to,
I think he should already have one.
He
just being a man
already does. But what, as a woman, we don't want to do is emasculate them. We don't want to talk down to them. We want to talk with them, not at them, not down to them.
Yeah.
And those things are learned. If you come from a strong black line of women in your family where there wasn't a lot of men present and you had to be the strong chick, and you had to
we had to get our hands dirty,
fend for yourself, raise your kids by yourself. You learn how to be tough. For me, my feminine journey only began recently. Even though I was a feminine person by nature and girly, my energy was very, very masculine. And still I'm working on that, because I come from that. I come from a lot of women who bore all the burdens, did all the work, do this, not till I realized my husband was like, chill out, I got you.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was actually super easy to be a woman, like being soft and letting them do the hard work.
And let's not confuse softness with weakness.
Right, exactly.
See, because that's how I was raised. Like, if you're soft, if you're weak.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to take advantage of you. Somebody's going to get over on you.
So the word for me was vulnerability. So I'm like, I'm not going to about to be vulnerable with you.
Right.
Because I looked at it as weak, but there's such thing as a positive vulnerability.
Let's talk about
learn that.
What's this positive vulnerability? Because I don't often put myself, I wouldn't use that word with me because I'm a very open person. Right. So whether you trample on me or not is how I receive it. I gave that information to you.
Right. So it's really like at the end of the day, if someone wanted to be by your side or if they didn't, you would still be Celeste. You would still be who you are.
That's right.
And once you really know who you are, you're okay to be vulnerable in a positive way with someone, because whether they trampled on your heart or not, you can pick up your pieces and put your heart back together and still be you. So you allowed yourself to be vulnerable, where people, when they don't allow it, they miss out on the love. They miss out on the romance. We live in an imperfect world, so there's always things going to happen. So like you said before, you're very open. You're an open person. So if you're open, guess what you're doing? You're allowing yourself to receive all kind of love. You're also allowing yourself maybe not such great things because of the type of person, but you would also protect yourself knowing, I know I'm open and I'm vulnerable, but I'm doing this in a positive way.
Right.
I'm operating out of goodness and optimism. So it's like, you're like, no matter what happens, you know you're going to be okay.
I'm going to be good. So like with most people, we all have a fence.
Yes.
But what kind of fence? Is it a picket fence? Is it a barbed wire fence where can't nobody get in there? Is it a moat with water? You got to test. People have to be tested for fitness to see if you can come across and get this close to me. And my fence is, if I had to visualize my fence is more acrylic.
I was gonna say that.
It's like acrylic.
You can see, but I gotta let you in. And
I can see, but you gotta see me too. I gotta check you out. I gotta, it's an acrylic fence.
I was thinking,
what substance is around you, because I feel so blessed because I have so many people. They respect and honor me in so many different ways. I'm a giver. I'm always, helping people, doing things for people. And people try to get me.
Yeah.
And when they get me, they get got. Cheers. Come on. Cheers for that. They get got. And it's not always
Don't get got.
It's karma.
That's
karma
true.
Will come around.
Someone else handles your lightweight.
These, I have a lot to say for the young brothers that are not being educated properly when it comes to romance, when it comes to loving a woman. It's like they're in this clique. They got to turn in the player card. It's this, this old fashioned.
Yeah, I've heard of when people are about to get married and they let their boys know, I'm locking it down. She's the one. And they're like, you're giving up your freedom. I hear
I've
it
never
so much.
felt more free than having a husband Leona because he's responsible for me.
Right. Yeah.
I'm responsible for myself, but at the end of the day, when I need to go to the doctors, to the hospital, and it says emergency contact,
right,
that's him.
Right.
So he's responsible for me if I can't be responsible for myself.
Yes. I think another thing, especially big that's going on right now is a lot of black women don't feel protected by the black man.
That's true.
Just in general. I know there's some great guys out there. I mean, here and there, it's kind of, it's hard to say that in general, but that's what's going on.
Well, I will tell you that if you just listen to black music, they talk about us like a dog. And here we are singing, them hoes ain't loyal. We're getting into it. Yeah. And we're feeling the beat and it's catchy. But when you really dissect the words behind what they're saying, they make so much money off degrading us and putting us as black women down. We're the mothers of this earth.
So do you think we're partially responsible?
Yes. Because we go along with it.
What their agenda is.
We go along with it instead of putting it down or not, submitting to the vibes of it. We just go, you see people in their car singing, like, give me a song, I can't think of one off the top of my head, like what's popular right now that's really putting women down.
I'd have to look.
Music person.
You know how you know so many. You know how you know so many songs, and then when someone asks you about it, you just don't know.
But the point that I'm making is that over the years, from when I was hanging in the clubs, dancing to this stuff, I was dancing to it too, and it was.
Oh, I got a really, really good one because when it came out, I was excited that they had a new song. Should I say who it is?
If you can.
I know who it is.
Just give us the initials and then let's just say the lyrics.
Okay, lyrics. I have to go to this song
because we don't want people to think
they know what it is.
You can't play it.
I stopped
we don't want people to think we're bashing because there's so much, and I'm sure if you remember a song that you jammed to that really was putting black women down, put it in the comments because we can come back to this because this is deep.
Okay, so it was a very popular song that came out, like won awards, and it was really old school vibe, but it's new artists, like more current artists.
Give me the lyrics.
I'm talking about the first song that they put out.
Okay.
It was a good song. I don't want to say it, but I want to read these lyrics.
I'll read the lyrics.
No, I'll read these lyrics to this song.
It's just speaking to the point of how we as black women go along with putting our men putting us down as a whole. That's it.
So the first song that came out as a group, they were like, "Where you at? What you doing?" You know that song, right?
Where you at?
What you doing?
You got plans?
Yeah, don't say that. The song.
Okay.
We love the song.
We love that song.
They were saying things romantically.
I'm sipping wine, sip.
Yeah, they were singing in my
robe.
Right, they were singing romance. They were singing love, and it was like it's a great song. The next song that they tried to play and put out, it says, "Wait a minute, this love started out so tender, so sweet, but now she got me smoking out the window." Now he's talking about, I'm spending all this money on you. Must have spent $45,000 up in Tiffany's. got her bad A kids running around my whole crib like it's Chuck E. Cheese, put me in a jam with her ex man in the UFC, like, so now he's fighting the old dude. Can't believe it. I'm in disbelief. This B got me paying her rent, paying for trips, diamonds on her neck, diamonds on her wrist, and here I am all alone. I'm so cold. I'm so cold. You got me out here smoking out the window. So when they first said this B got me,
is it the same song?
It's the same artist.
Oh, okay,
the same group of the other song we were talking about. We're like, oh, I'm feeling love. This is romantic. He says, don't make plans. I want to see you. Yeah. They even mentioned things like, I'm gonna leave the door open for you when you come over.
Right. Nobody else is in there,
and it was very romantic.
Right. I like that song.
So when the same group comes out with another song saying this love started out so great, but now all I'm doing is spending money on you, and then now you're calling me out my name.
Well, you know, the whole pimp mentality is part of black culture. That's another.
It is.
That's another conversation.
Show.
That's another conversation.
But you get what I'm saying? How the energy changed. The message shifted.
Right.
Where first I'm sweet, and then you're in love with me, and now you're thinking I'm just using you for your money. So now I'm a B.
Right.
So that was just like, I skipped through that when I listened to the album.
Right.
I don't want to hear that.
And between, the exploitation through videos and all we know how to do is rump shake. There's no ballerinas. There's no classical nothing. And I mean, it's cool if that's what you like. But when you don't see other cultures doing that to their women.
I listen to country music too.
They love their women.
They do not.
They go to war for their women.
Yeah.
But, this has been such a great conversation. Romance to music, and get your flowers. Get them while people are alive. Get them for different reasons. Cheers.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. And like I always say, be the roses.
Be the roses. Not the thorns.
Definitely not.
Not the thorns. Bye.
That was fun.